Hello everyone, and welcome to This Week in Friars Hockey. I'm Nick Rojas. Well, unless you were looking for double-digit goals, you couldn't have asked for a better start from the Friars, who won 7-0 over Maine in the home opener. Apparently, a hat trick was not enough for Greg Printz, whose 4 goals earned him the Hockey's Player of the Week, but more importantly than that, secured him a spot on This Week in Friars Hockey. On the rest of today's show, we're also joined by Coach Leaman as we get ready for this upcoming weekend. This Week in Friars Hockey starts right now. We are back for another year of This Week in Friars Hockey with the head coach of the men's hockey team, Coach Leaman. Coach, this past weekend, I wanted to know what was your mindset and what was your team's mindset going into their first game with a bunch of fresh faces in the lineup?
First, our mindset was I made it back another year, so that was a very good thing. But it's a brand new team. It feels like day one. We've taken over the position, and there's a lot of new faces, and really didn't know what to expect. Even before the game, it was quiet in the locker room, and I was speaking with the assistants. I don't know if they're nervous. I don't know if they're focused. I don't know. When you have 8 new guys in the lineup, you just don't know how to read your players yet. So, but I was really happy with the result. I thought they played a good first period, and and happy to have a win under our belt and move on.
Spoke about those 8 new guys, 7 of which were freshmen. What did you see from that group?
Probably, I think they handled it pretty well. We've tried to not make it too difficult for any of them. So we have 1 freshman forward on each line. We have 1 freshman D paired with a veteran D. So we're trying to make it as simple as possible for them. But I thought they handled the game very well. I thought Max Crozier stepped up, and you couldn't tell he was a freshman. And I thought Parker Ford and Moyne, stepped up, played good games. Albin Nielsen had the puck on his stick a lot. So it was good overall for all of them.
Now, the first game of the year was a Hockey East game. And, if we talked about this last week, you might be given a little bit of a different answer. But I want to know what your opinion was on starting the season off with a Hockey East game versus an exhibition game or even a non-conference game.
Well, I like it because it worked out for us because we got the win. But if we had the loss right now, I don't think I'd have liked it. I didn't like it with a young team either, I can tell you that. I'd rather play non-conference early with a young team. But you don't plan these things out. Your schedule's done a couple years in advance, and you're at the mercy of the schedule sometimes. I did think it was a great crowd. It was homecoming weekend. Campus, I've never seen campus busier than it was. So that was kind of cool. We had a couple of recruits in also, so that was nice. So, for them to see campus buzzing and everything. But great, overall, we'll take the win and we'll just move on.
7 goals for your offense, but also on the defense, a shutout there. What'd you like from Michael Lackey and Neck?
Well, I really liked the 3 big saves in the second period. Even the first save he made off the top of his shoulder, I just liked him. I think he needs to clean up a couple of rebounds. But I love his athleticism. I love his compete in the net. And, for him to start out with a shutout at the beginning of the year, we needed that too, just for him to kind of start to feel good about being with the new team, being in a new role, everything like that. So, it couldn't work out better. But I love the 2 he had a really big time save in the second period that I liked.
And final question from me, Coach Greg Printz, 4 goals in the game this past weekend. I have to imagine that he's going to be a crucial piece as he steps up this year.
Well, we need, not only Greg, we need Jason O'Neill, we need Vimel Sukumaran, we need all the guys that are rising juniors or seniors. We need them to step up. This is kind of their, a lot of those guys have played, quote unquote, secondary roles on the team, and we need those guys with a consistent effort every day and live in our culture. And so for Greg to have a big first game, that was awesome. We just have to continue to push that out of those, that core of kind of older guys to help lead the way.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for your time. Good luck this season. We have a rule on This Week in Friars Hockey. If you score 4 goals, you're automatically a guest on the show. Junior forward Greg Printz. Greg, I imagine this past weekend a lot of people reaching out to you.
Yep, I had a lot of old coaches texting me, and a lot of my friends from abroad, a lot of family members, which is pretty cool. to see everybody was tuning in. Everybody heard about it, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. You know, the game was on TV, scored 4 goals, NCAA hockey's hyping you up. It's got to be a pretty cool feeling. Last year you have 11 goals, and, you know, already in the first game you already have 4. Were there any things you worked on in the offseason in particular that you've seen pay off already?
Just throughout the offseason, I just focused more on being, like, more involved in the game and thinking the game better, and then I focused a lot on my just overall strength, which I think paid off a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Now 2 new line mates in that game there in your first game. Already looks like you're in mid-season form. How were you guys able to establish that connection so well?
Well, we've been together since the first week of preseason, so we've had about 4, almost 5 weeks of playing together. So we've just been able to get that chemistry going and then just carry it into the game, which has been awesome. So.
4 goals like we mentioned. When was the last time you scored 4 goals and what was that like?
I think the last time I had 4 goals, I was 12, and obviously it's not the same feeling as it is now, but I think the coolest part about it was the last Friar that scored 4 goals was Devin Rask, who was my coach my junior year of high school at South Kent. So it was a pretty surreal feeling to be able to share that with him.
You gotta love how things work out like that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Well, Greg, thank you for your time and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
For a preview of this weekend's matchups, we send it down now to Mike DeMars. Mike?
Thanks, Nick. This weekend, the Friars take on Holy Cross at Schneider Arena on Friday night. And then Saturday afternoon, they skate against the U.S. Under-18 National Development Team. Friday will be the first game of the season for Holy Cross, which finished last year with a 10-21-5 record. The Crusaders lost 5 of their top 7 scorers from last season. This year, Holy Cross will be relying upon sophomore Anthony Vincent, who recorded 21 points, tying him for the second highest point total on the team. Also chipping in on the offensive end will be senior Neil Robinson. The native of Pointe Claire, Quebec, contributed 5 goals and 11 assists, good for 16 points. 2 of Robinson's 5 goals were game winners. The Friars beat the Holy Cross Crusaders in their only matchup last season. That's your weekend preview. Sending it back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Mike. That'll just about wrap up today's edition of the show. A big thank you to our guests, Greg Printz and Coach Leaman. Friday and Saturday night's games are right here at Schneider Arena. Get your tickets, but if you can't make it out to the rink, you can watch the game on College Sports Live or listen to it on the TuneIn Radio app or on the radio on 104.7 FM. If you haven't done so already, follow the team on social media. They are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where they post all the pictures, post videos, updates, and more. That'll do it for today's edition of This Week in Friars Hockey. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.